Godzilla!
Daddy's home.
Cake every night.
No more!
No, Kong! Take me back!
King Kong ain't got shit on me!
Yeah, that'll work great.
We'll do it live!
Live on network TV! Jesus! Harold Christ on a...
Well then, I totally forgot I had a preset intro in this thing. So let's see how good YouTube is at giving out notifications to people anymore. If I know my audience well enough, this is like prime time. Because, you know, it's whatever summer vacation. So either any of the high school, middle schoolers that watch my videos are on summer break, or the college people are on summer break. And I know none of you have a job. So I could be in luck and I could get people to watch this, or maybe not. I have no idea. I'm doing this because I almost... Well, I'm probably going to record a video today anyway, but this is me kind of priming the... I don't know what the term would be for that. I'm setting the scene. I don't know. Just making crap up now. And I needed something to title this. So I went with my favorite conspiracy to discuss, which is Godzilla green? That will never not annoy me. I don't know why though. That those VHS covers, why do they make them look like that? I have no idea. But this is more just a kind of a test, and I'm just seeing how many people are actually going to jump on this. So, yep, I'm just going to like sit on my hands for a bit. See if any of you actually exist. Kind of light a fire under some butts. Where's the comments? There we go. Okay. All right. Sean. Yep, of course. I don't have a webcam on my setup. I haven't for a while. This is my PC that I'm using, so it's whatever. It doesn't have a webcam. I might get one at some point. There might not even be a point, but I was looking at the last time I posted. I think it was this month, 2 years ago. Not quite 2 years, but like approaching that. And I think we did a live stream about a year ago, right? Maybe less than that. Yeah, well over a year ago. Yeah, I was having a lot of fun doing those live streams and stuff. I just found that format a lot more interesting to talk about, like news and happenings versus like going through the process of recording the narration and then editing everything after. I mean, I had fun making those as well, but when it came to the end and I got lazy, I was like, whatever, I'll just freaking do it live. Get out of this. Get out of that. What are you doing? Yeah, I checked my channel like probably 5 months ago, 6, and I hadn't looked at it in a long time, and I was like, wow, I've been gone for so long that I lost monetization on my channel because I don't have the watch hours anymore. So I was like, okay, well, because for a while I was like, should I start getting back into making videos again, or like should I try to? And I was like, no. At this point, not now that I have an actual job, probably not. But yeah, I'm gonna find something. What the crap am I looking for? Um, so I don't think I ever really talked about uh -1 or Godzilla X Kong on YouTube. I mean, I had a live stream with Sean and Nick. I believe that was over on Nick's channel, and we talked about it. But um, yeah, I thought about making videos on that for this channel, but like kind of as I said there, I don't remember if I actually said that or not in that video. But if you want my thoughts, you can go find that wherever. I'll put a link somewhere. But yeah, it got to the point where I was like, I was just having so much fun watching the movies just as a fan, just kind of separating myself from the grind of YouTube and all that stuff. But yeah, I think it's on Nick's channel. I'll find it. But they have announced the next MonsterVerse film. And it's mighty interesting to me that they're announcing it 3 years out. The MonsterVerse is strange. It's a very strange series. Now I know that like at this point we have an anime and we have the Apple Plus show, which I could talk about that a little bit if anybody gives a shit. But it's like 3 years. It's like, damn. I mean, they're not very efficient, and which is interesting because they make a lot of money. But I think they really are taking their time and just doing like one at a time, like kind of just taking it as it comes. And I guess you can respect that in a sense. Yeah, let me find this crap. Did they still do featured channels on YouTube? Like, well, I found them anyway. Oh yeah, everything it does is live. I forgot. Well, now I gotta find this. Yeah. Okay. You know, that video did pretty well actually. So, yep, it's from 6 months ago. Basically, I simp for it. I simp really hard for -1. So did Sean. I think a little more. I think I probably maybe simped a little more than he did, but you know, like I was just so out of the, just so out of the loop with everything that, you know, just again going into that as not as a YouTuber or like part of any community, just like being a fan and just going right in there and watching -1, it blew me away. It was, I don't know, you couldn't think of a better movie experience for me because you know I went the nerdy route of going to be a film student, so I have all of that I'm taking with me into this movie. You know, all of my sort of just very general analytical filmmaker side of me that's really paying attention to the writing and the cinematography and the acting, just you know every aspect of it, the sound design, whatever, lighting, whatever, editing, as I just keep saying whatever and listing more things. But I had that, and then I also had the fan, and they were both very happy. And I didn't really have a lot of expectations for it. Just, I mean, I knew that there was a lot of hype for it and people liked it. But I didn't like Shin Godzilla basically at all. But there was very little about that I found enjoyable. So I wasn't expecting a masterpiece. I wasn't going in there going like, okay, I'm gonna love this thing. It's gonna be excellent. I was like, okay, it's probably gonna be pretty good. Like if everyone's saying it's perfect, I'm probably gonna think it's pretty good. And I agree with everybody. I thought it was amazing. I think objectively, it probably is the best in the series. I think you could say that. And then Godzilla X Kong was fun. Again, that was a different side of me though. That was I had to turn the filmmaker brain off, and not that there isn't any. Not that it's not well made. There are a lot of things I do actually like about it from that perspective, but I didn't really weigh it that much from that point of view. But I did from the fan side of me and the little kid side of me, which kind of plays into the fan a little bit, I guess. That's kind of cheating. But very, very happy. I had a blast. And there was a lot of things in that like from the filmmaking perspective, I did from, the snobby filmmaking perspective, I really did like about it. I thought I think Scar King was okay. Like just overall, I would say Scar King was fine, okay. But there were moments that I really liked. Like the personality of Scar King, I love all that stuff. The attitude and all of that was really, really cool. I don't know. The end fight was kind of quick. But it did do cool things. But like once I got up to the surface world, it ended to me really quickly, and I just wasn't a fan of that. But and God, the exposition was really hard to watch. With in that scene with like the it's the exposition scene. I don't really know any other way to put it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Where we're going to tell you the entire lore, and this will lead right into Act 3. Oh my God. It's the Chosen One. Whatever. Kind of stupid. No, it's not kind of stupid. It's very stupid. But whatever. I brushed that off. So I didn't really care. It would have been more interesting to find out about Scar King in a different way, but whatever. And Mothra too. Like I don't know. I'm done with this cave painting shit and this like these hieroglyphs and stuff like that. Like it's cool, but like how much more stuff is going to be hidden? You know what I mean? I mean, I guess it's realistic that like that's how we find out about history. Like we think we know, but then we dig a little deeper and we find out a little more. But at some point, it's like, can we think of a better way to we give information, whatever? But his personality I really liked, and I loved the scene when Kong went down there to like the ape world. I don't know what they call it in the movie, and I forget if it even has a name, but I love that sequence. Best part of the movie. Because there's no and it's overall the one thing the movie does really well, just from a not even a fan perspective of just the scenes with no dialogue in it, just the physical acting of the animators. I assume there was a little bit of motion capture, but just how that stuff carries itself, it's great with Kong and Suko, I think his name is, and that entire sequence when he goes down there and he stands off with Scar King. I love how that sequence is told. You don't need a single word. It's great. And obviously very Planet of the Apes-ish. So I really like that. But yeah, so that was one where I had fun with it. Was it worth 3 years of waiting? Yes. And see, this is the problem. This is something I still to this day cannot shake with King of the Monsters, is that because we had to wait 5 years for that, I like by the time it came out, and the fact that I was holding myself over with YouTube and fandom and all these things, just waiting and waiting and waiting for it. When it did come and it was very mediocre. I was just like, this is dog shit. This is awful. It was an overreaction. I still don't like it. But in terms of, but when it comes to GXK, it's like yeah, we waited 3 years, but I wasn't like tapping my foot, you know. It was a very passive 3 years that I was like not thinking about anything else, or I was thinking about everything else. I wasn't thinking about it. Um and so it kind of flew by. And so I went into the theater with no expectations, didn't look at a ton of the marketing, didn't look at all the leaks and all that crap. And I had a lot of fun with it. And there was a lot of fun little scenes and things that surprised me. And yeah, it was great. I had a great time with it. Yeah, King of Monsters is just not a good film. It's really not. Especially compared to Gareth Edwards, like what he did. And just, oh, God. And I think I think I'm not alone in that. I think a lot of people probably hyped themselves up too, that we were all expecting something a little more like that. Like a little, not that it was like super campy, but it straddled that line a little bit, and it seemed like I don't even know. I don't even want to get into it now. But I literally made a whole like 20-minute video on how to fix that movie. But you know what might be fun? It might be fun to go through some comments, because I have not responded to or looked at comments in probably a year and a half. So I'm going to paste this in there. Yeah, but with King of the Monsters, it's like it felt really confused. It felt like it really wanted me to be compelled by this like kind of environmentalist, whatever message kind of movie, kind of, I don't know. But you know, it was tried to be very grounded, but it was trying to put camp into it, and it just didn't mix. It was trying to take like the aesthetics of the 2014 film, but do something very different with it. So I just wasn't. I don't know. The Gareth's film had a lot more weight to it. Anyway, let's look at some comments here. Let's see who I've not responded to. I will share my screen. I've lost 3 subscribers. Oh no. What are we doing? Let's share my tab. Oh my god, I feel like an old person. All right, I think people can see this. Is there anything sensitive on my screen? I don't really care. Where are you? I'm right here. Yeah, so this video gets a lot of people to come back to. I don't remember what I said in that video, but I think I probably said something along the lines of bad. Don't do it. It would be stupid. Not heresy. Any updates would not be either. You just have 2 versions, like mine is 0. Yeah, I mean, like, I would definitely see -0, I guess they're calling it, but it seems very gimmicky to me. Like, you know, I don't know. I mean, the film is already fairly desaturated, so you're kind of achieving a look closer to black and white anyway, so there's really no point, other than, like, I don't know. I would buy it. Would be interesting to have Wolfman as a kaiju. Yes. That's never going to happen, by the way. You are never going to see that movie on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. I don't think it's going to happen. I used to think it would. I really don't think it will at this point. Copy from USA. The real one is Japan. What? Okay. The copy movie. I've never heard Godzilla King of the Monsters referred to as the copy movie. He is a blockhead, though. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. Where's Blood? I'm right here. You're talking about me. Let's see. Same for Legendary Toast contract. The same with all the companies using the rights of the character. Same with IDW, as Matt Frank confirmed. They can't kill Godzilla in any of their comics. This means Legendary can't do the same with Godzilla, and why would they? He's face of the Monsterverse. That's stupid. They should be able to kill him. Um, I like how Godzilla's skin color is like black blue. Yeah, that was a weird thing when I tried the colorization stuff. Um, yeah, I mean, like the director of Wolfman or whatever, I'm pretty sure he's tried to like release it, and I'm like he used to make updates on his Facebook page, but like I don't know, it's probably not even that good. Like, it's probably just like a die A level. If you probably want to compare it to something, it's probably on par with like the Gamera films in terms of how shitty they look. Um, I nearly cried watching this, and Kaiju Network said the fact that this movie never came out as a tragedy and a huge crime. Yes, it is. I didn't mean to make you cry, but I agree. When the world needed me most, I vanished. I did. Well, did the world really need me though? I don't know. You know, it got to a point where I feel like my channel was moving in a direction I was happy with at one point. Where speaking of, like I was making videos like this one, like the history of Godzilla commercials and um, the Yondabont documentary and all these. Like I felt like I was branching out more, and I was having a lot of fun doing that stuff. Like I had so much fun doing this history of Godzilla commercials video, although I'm so annoyed because there is like an error in that video, like a blatant time that I forget to put a clip on screen. But I spent so many hours on that. And they're like they're videos you work hard on, and it's you don't like you feel like you're doing something original. You know, like I love doing the news videos. I loved like throwing those together and putting them out for people. But that's the stuff I really enjoyed, and it's the stuff I really wanted to get into. And I started to a little bit, but you know, shit happens. Basically the video. I don't know if anybody has been cycling into this at all, but I am going to record a video today, basically explaining what happened to me and what's going to happen to me in the future. Good news and bad news, I guess I'll say. Well, is it really bad news? I don't know. It's ambiguous news heading in the direction of good news, but I'm not going to call it good news. But just kind of explaining where I went, what I was doing. I'm mostly going to make the focus of the video about the film that I directed because that's kind of a big deal, and that's been what has consumed the last 2 years of my life. And you know, I'd like to kind of shill out my own content there. Fuck, I'm not gonna call it content; it's a movie. I'm not gonna fall into that trap. Anyway, back to this stuff like this. I enjoy doing like the 80s style trail. Like that was kind of fun, a little exploitative and kind of admittedly very shittily thrown together, and I could do it a lot better today, but you know, whatever. King Kong Lives. Yeah, okay. The first Godzilla commercial I saw was on a Freel smoothie machine showing a trailer for 2014. That's funny. If they do a director's cut, hopefully there's an alternate opening where Godzilla fights Kong. It's called. I don't think you would see that. I don't think that's in the. I don't think that's in the can anywhere. They're certainly not going to like refilm it. Yeah, that was a fun article. So many people clicked on that video. I didn't like mean for it to like get that big or be that like it was just this interesting article, and I was like, oh, King Kong, like a King Kong sequel. Oh my god. But anyway, don't have your mouth on the mic. Did I have my mouth on the mic? I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, make the movie. Yeah, my funny mock trailers. I had fun doing those too. What happened to you, Kaiju Network? Well, I will explain that today at some point. And if anybody is curious why I titled the stream this, I'm trying to make fun of the really weird fact that a very common Google search is why is my poop green? But I put Godzilla in there, like why? It's weird. Sometimes he's green for some reason. It's canon now. I mean, it never wasn't canon, I guess. 33 and 2005 are hugely overrated. They are good movies, okay, but not as good as almost everyone says. 76 is the best King Kong film ever. Has big nostalgic value, great score, best pacing, and the hottest woman in 1976, Jessica Lange. Excuse me. I don't have much of an opinion on Jessica Lange in that sense. I'm not prepared to say she's the hottest woman in 1976. But if you know, the judge of a good Kong film is how hot the love interest is, sure. I think I appreciated 76 more when I watched the 3-hour cut. I did enjoy it. It was very long. I had to take the break in the middle. I don't remember if the DVD has the break, because again, this was originally broadcast on CBS I believe CBS in 78 or NBC. Fuck, I don't even remember if CBS existed back then. One of the big channels on 78 and in 1981. And those were like the only times it ever broadcast. And they had it as a 2-night thing. So I don't remember if the DVD comes with the break, but I took the break in the middle. And I finished it the next day. I enjoyed it. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't the greatest thing ever. It definitely is better than the theatrical version. A lot of way, like I feel like there has to be some kind of compromise. So I don't remember how long the runtime of the original 76 is. Let me see. 2 hours 14. So of the 45 minutes they added to it, I think you could maybe keep like 20 of it. Yeah, that's, and like kind of speaking of the whole Godzilla versus Kong extended cut thing, similar situation to me of there's a reason why you cut a movie down. Like I'm saying this as someone that's now made a film and had to cut like 15 minutes off of it. There is a reason you cut stuff down. But there is a point where very clearly you have cut too much. So I think we have this like extreme nowadays of like studios really want to gut the hell out of movies to get them shorter and tighter, to the point where I lose the immersion of the story sometimes, or like the logic of it. But then on the flip side, like you really don't want to see the full direct, like uncut version, because there's probably some fat. I think 76 is a good example of like, yeah, of the 45 minutes they put back in, there's probably 20, maybe 25 of those minutes that, like, yeah, they probably should have kept that in there. But did it really need to be all 3 hours? I don't think so. But that movie is it came out at such a weird time, because just the time period and the special effects. Like there are moments in that movie where the effects are flawless. The miniatures and all that stuff looks really good. And then whenever they try to do green screen stuff or compositing, it's terrible. It's really bad. It's like some of the worst King Kong looking stuff, but it also has some of the best stuff. So without getting on a big rant or whatever, getting off topic there. Overall, I liked it. Don't think it's the best King Kong film. I still think Peter Jackson has that title and probably will have it for the foreseeable future, at least in my lifetime, I think. I say this now, but I don't really think anyone's going to try to attempt to remake the original anytime soon. I mean, at this pace, we wouldn't get one for another 30 or 20 years anyway. Do love this movie, but I understand why some people would not like it, and I respect your opinion. Well, thank you. Yeah, again, I didn't even like that movie before I became like a film bro. Just even as a fan, I was just so disappointed. I was like, some of this stuff is really bad. Like, I don't know how that script, I don't know how they greenlit that. like not greenlit it from the producer standpoint, but like I don't know how Mike Doherty read that script and was like, "This is done. We're gonna make this movie now." Like, there's not any rewrites you want to do that. Like, not even like major structural stuff. Like, there's just some terrible dialogue in that film. Like, god awful. But that's just my stupid opinion. Yeah, I did a stream right when Sean's probably working. There's Nick. Yeah, everyone's here now. Well, that's what you get, Sean. You can watch it later if you want. I feel like Mothra and Rodan are tiny in this movie, but overall, yeah, I think Rodan is just like. It's another thing I didn't like about it. It's like I feel like they gave Ghidorah the respect. They definitely gave Mothra the respect, but I feel like they were just using Rodan for the name value. Because, like, I think for those of us who watch the old movies, you kind of get, especially in the Showa era. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making shit up, but I don't know. Like when I look at the Rodan suit and I watch those movies back, like you feel like Rodan has a little more of a personality. Maybe it's because they made him kind of a quote unquote bad guy. He just feels very one note. You know, like I feel like when I look at all the MonsterVerse monsters, I can see some kind of personality in them, almost like someone wearing a suit, right? With Rodan, I didn't get that. He just felt like a CGI bird. I just wasn't a fan. Yeah, Sean can deal with it. The King of the Monsters hate, whatever. Why does it say rant at the end? Because I ranted about it. I either ranted because it didn't seem to fix the issue that everybody had. But also being a little more technically inclined now that I am, it's also very possible that looking at 2 JPEGs on Twitter is probably not, that have been totally compressed to shit, probably do not give a very accurate representation of what these films would look like on a TV. So, maybe it does look a little better, but I don't know. It's so dark. It's very dark. It's a very fair criticism. If you watch the movie with the lights off, it's totally fine. And that's honestly how I prefer to do it anyway. Anyway. Okay, well, I would love to see everybody. Really? You really want to see every single one of those? I don't think that's going to happen. I certainly don't think we're going to see Jiger in a MonsterVerse film or Pulgasari. Sorry. Oh, man. Yeah, those were fun commercials. I had a lot of fun doing that. It was so fun. Yeah, and this is another video that I enjoyed, and maybe if I was like now looking back, I might be able to I think kind of, if I'm remembering, GXK kind of explains this, doesn't it? The ancient rivalry shit. I would have to rewatch that and see what my point was. But I mean, in that stupid exposition scene, they pretty much laid it all down. This is the 56 remake. Okay, I know. But they still have the same shots. Okay, whatever. It's a test, whatever. I know. I think I had Raymond Burr in there, but I guess you're right. I should change the title. Where did I go? I don't know. See, 9 months ago, you planted the seed, and here I come. During the Olympics beer commercial, I think I know where that specific Godzilla suit came from. It's a modified version of the Theodore Rex outfit from the movie the same name. What? I don't think I've ever heard of that. What the hell are you talking about? Well, this looks really fucking bad. Ha! Oh my god, this looks terrible. Whoopi Goldberg? What the hell? Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, actually. I think you might have a point. Yeah, I saw the Pierce is asking, did I see the Akira Takarada scene? Yeah, it was really like I have two opinions on it. Like it's not that exciting at all. It's really underwhelming, but at the same time, it was so underwhelming. Why wasn't it in the film? Like why it doesn't make any sense. Like if it was really, unless they really were in editing and like, man, we really got to chop those 30 seconds out of the film. Like I think having Akira Takarada would have been worth the 20-30 seconds of runtime that added, because a lot of people wanted that. And so to see it now, it's like, really, they held off on that. So it's like a negative in that, oh, that's kind of underwhelming. But it's just even more upsetting because it's like, really? That wasn't a big deal. You could have just kept that in there. Yeah, not a big deal at all. If it was like a longer scene, like, and maybe I'm glad they didn't do this, but when they do cameos and stuff like that, kind of like maybe not as much like a Raymond Burr in Return of Godzilla, but like some kind of like maybe that his character is like one of the characters he was in the older films, and like maybe he has more dialogue about Godzilla. Like it would have been cheesy, but at least it would have been like, oh, that was worth the wait, But nah. Is a King Kong museum included with the regular ticket? Yes, it is. I didn't mean to glorify this and say the King Kong Museum like it's this big, but it is like an entire section of the Empire State Building tour. It's a really awesome room. They have lines of all these posters of I think strictly of the original film. It's got like a little red carpety kind of feel. They have a couple sculptures and other little things. And then they have the big Kong that you can stand next to. So I had a lot of fun that day. That was a great experience. Like that was worth the ticket for me. Like, yeah, I wanted to go up there and obviously to go that high and to say like, oh, I've been up the Empire State Building, but that's really why I wanted to go there. I was like, that's worth the ticket for me. I can take that off the screen now. Yeah, exactly. Yep, totally agree. This would have been better than the 2014 film. I mean, I don't disagree with that. How is the online coloring program called? I don't even remember what I used. But, and I'm sure there's a better way to do this now. But was it 2017 I did this? I don't remember. But I found a program that would colorize black and white images with pretty decent accuracy. It was a pretty good algorithm. I guess you could call it like early AI in the sense that I believe you could kind of teach it like how like you could have it do it again and try it again, but I literally was doing one frame at a time. So I was taking like a 5-second clip, and I was breaking that down into 24 frames a second, and I was putting all of those in there and saving all those images. Which also explains why there's even some inconsistencies frame to frame, because it didn't always generate the same color every time. But it worked pretty well, actually. The nighttime stuff, it's not good at. But the daytime stuff, that's why I picked that one. It worked pretty well. Paul Verhoeven was also considered to direct G98. Gotta be honest, don't know who that is. This guy kind of predicted the future with the marketing. I don't remember what I said. So, what did I say? I probably said they were going to market it as a King Kong film. Or wait, no. This is talking about the sequel. I don't remember. Nostradamus. Did I say used After Effects? I don't think I did. I don't even know if I had After Effects on my computer back then. Maybe I was lying my ass off. I don't remember. Or I just misremember. I have no idea. Godzilla versus Gamera. Can and will it happen? Yeah, that was my spin on ETN. He had his like pretty ETN was awesome back in the day. I don't know if I assume Rob is still making videos. Again, I'm not like in anymore, kind of watching a lot of stuff. But man, back in the day, like Goji Fan and Rob, they were my go-to guys. And when Goji Fan fell off, I was like hardcore, like, ETN fan. Like he was the guy that I would watch. I would wait for his uploads. I just liked his personality. Like I thought he had a pretty good, and like his channel was well-rounded enough where like he talked about like other stuff. But yeah, he did like a couple of those big speculation videos back in like 2015, 16 when like we were all just blue balled. 2014 came out and we were kind of in our, I don't know if you would call that blue ball. I guess it was kind of our this is getting a little much. Our refractory period of just like there was nothing. We had like the vague announcement that there would be a sequel, and then Comic-Con happened, and then all this shit. And God, I lost my train of thought. Jesus. Oh, Big Jack Films is here. How are you? Am I coming to G-Fest? No. I really wanted to go last year, and I couldn't convince my buddy to go with me. I think we might try to go next year. I know it's like annoying to think that far out, but I mean, I just graduated. I just moved. I don't really want to up and go to a state, interstate travel anytime soon. But I have a friend who would 110% go with me. He's a Godzilla fan. I don't want to say by proxy, but like he's really into anime and a lot of Japanese stuff. So he kind of naturally fell into Godzilla, whereas me, I just kind of, I started kind of there, and I never really moved out of that. I haven't really watched many other tokusatsu stuff or any other bigger Japanese properties. But I think he would honestly get a lot more out of the festival than I would. I think just because of that. And then I think I have like 2 or 3 other friends that maybe I could convince them to go with me. But oh yeah, I saw that they're gonna do your screening there. So I don't know. I don't fucking know. But I definitely want to go someday. Maybe next year is the time. But anyway, back to what the hell I was saying. Yeah, but like those speculation videos were like the only thing that gave me hope back then of like, oh man, what if that could happen? Oh my God, like imagining the far out future of the 2020s, and God, we'll have Godzilla and King Kong again, and you can't even like, or we're going to have Ghidorah, like you can't even fathom those things. And then when they come out, they stink. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, so that was me trying to do something like that, and I really like doing that stuff. Wishful thinking. I'm very good at that. But I'm also very good at telling people in my comments that they're they're a little too wishful in their thinking. That was fun. That was a fun edit of Nick's stuff. I don't remember what I said in this video, but I probably still hold that opinion that, again, like even now, kind of removing myself. I mean, not even removing yourself from the fandom, but a little bit. Like if you take yourself out of it and you watch 98, is it still a crappy movie? Yeah. But it has that flair of just this like late 90s, early 2000s, just who gives a shit, just kind of crappy sci-fi blockbuster. I don't know. It's kind of fun. And you know what? He's not that good in the movie, but I find Matthew Broderick to be pretty likable. Like overall as an actor. It's just Audrey that's fucking terrible in that movie. Oh my God. That's so fucking bad. The show is great. I have the show on DVD. I think I've watched every episode at least once. I really enjoyed the show. And Nick is a lot better of a character in that. Anyway, oh god, I would love to at some point, and in the video I recorded at some point today, I might end the stream at like 3 or 3:30. I don't know. Any ideas for the future if I do make videos again? I would love to sit down with my teacher or my former teacher from college, my film professor. His name's Bill Finger. He worked on camera departments and on films for like 30, 40 years. But in the early days, he was a PA on King Kong Lives. And it was one of his first films he ever did. And it's just one of those right place, right time sort of things where De Laurentiis was doing productions in the South, and Bill is from Carolina or North Carolina, or South. I don't remember which one. I think North Carolina. I don't remember. But that was one of the productions that was happening around that time. And so kind of just a proximity thing. He got onto that set, and there's photos of him with the Kong animatronic or the suit. I don't think they had an animatronic for that one. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I would love to pick his brain. I thought about doing this like while I was in school and I was still around him. And my only hesitation to doing it is like, he doesn't like that movie. He correctly agrees that movie is kind of bad. So he probably wouldn't have a lot to say on it in terms of like the merits of the film. Because he worked on a lot of shitty movies. He worked on the Super Mario Brothers movie. So I think it would be more of a thing for us as fans to like kind of drool over, like, oh, you got to see the King Kong bust, the full size, all the Rick Bakers or whatever. So I think we would get more out of it than he would, and I wouldn't want to bore him with it. But, I could also just use it as an opportunity for him to explain any set stories he might have. My only other fear with that is that he's an older guy. He's worked on a bajillion sets, and he might not have a lot of memories from that. So I've been back and forth on that, but it's still been fun to pick his brain on it when I have had the chance. But it's mostly like, oh, that movie was dog shit, and I was just a PA. It would have been cooler if he was a assistant camera on that, like he has been on a lot of productions. Sorry. I like this film with the OG is awesome, freaking awesome. Yeah, dude. Remember that? Like, what is that? I don't even remember. Like, what's that supposed to be? Is that supposed to be Shimo, or is that oh my god, I'm so out of it. I don't even know what the fucking monsters are called. Shimo, right? Isn't that's definitely not the same thing. Who knows what that was supposed to be? And I think that's in the art book. So many directions it could have gone with that. Pacific Rim: The Black was okay. Never really. Oh, this is a funny story. Yeah. I can go a little into my Apple TV Plus story. I kind of fully intended on making a video about the Apple TV Plus show. Whether it was one about the whole series or like one of each episode or whatever. I fully intended on doing that. What stopped me was I got 4 episodes in, I think. And I was definitely enjoying it. And one day I tried logging into Apple TV Plus. And it's like my password wasn't working. And I was really confused. I was like, did I forget my ID? Or like, did I use a different email? Like, what's happening? And so I tried to log in on my phone. And it was like, your Apple ID has been locked for security reasons. And I was like, what does that mean? It was like, I certainly didn't lock myself out, or like maybe they thought there was some security breach, but they locked my account. and basically said you have to call Apple support to unlock your account. Now, I'm a student at the time, which is code for I'm busy every waking moment of every day. And I'm like, I do not have the time to set aside 30 minutes to talk to some Apple representative. Screw that. I'm not going to finish the show. And I didn't. So I left off at episode 4, I think, fully intending on finishing it. It's just a matter of me making it a priority. Maybe I'll write it down on a sticky note and do it tomorrow. Making it a matter of priority to do that, because I was like, really? You just... I literally made the account a week before, 2 weeks before, and they already locked me out of it. I was like, well, you get what you fucking deserve, I guess. And I can swear now because I'm not monetized anyway, so I don't really have a stake in any of this. People are saying it's King Caesar. Oh my god. Don't even get me started. It's so goofy. Hey, you're in the comments. Or you were the first comment. He was, or he or she, I'm not sure. They were waiting here for me. What's my version of Godzilla versus Kong? I'm pretty sure that is exactly what this video is, by the way. I'm pretty sure that is exactly what is laid out in that video. Is my plot predictions. Oh man, that was another fun time. 2020, when COVID happened and we were all just like, I remember that period of time very well, because I was basically holding on for dear life with videos. Like, it was the only thing back then that was giving me any sort of like catharsis for living, any sort of positivity. Like, and we had no news, right? It was all speculation, but then we get like breadcrumbs here and there. And I felt like it's a double-edged sword in that sense, because I am milking everything for content, which on one hand does feel scummy. And it's like, well, I mean, that is kind of the game we're in. But on the other hand, I felt like I had to get really creative with the stuff I was coming up with. Because I wanted to upload a video like once, twice, even 3 times a week. I mean, I honestly could not tell you what my upload schedule was back then. But at that time, that was the idea. I was like, I need to come up with stuff because nothing's going on. Like, I felt like because I had a following, like I had this responsibility, along with other YouTubers, I think we all did, to like keep things alive, you know, to like keep people interested, keep people positive. Like, we know nothing's going to happen for another whatever. Like the release date kept getting delayed. So we knew nothing was going to happen. So we just had to come up with stuff. So a bit of a dark period of time, but also looking back, I had a lot of fun doing the YouTube stuff. And I think that's like the single reason I ended up getting monetized, was because of that spring and summer. Because I was doing so many videos and people were so hungry for stuff, that it just all kind of worked out. And then I read the comics, and I occasionally did stuff on the comics, which admittedly, I like the comics a lot, but I think, as I might have mentioned in 1 or 2 of my videos, they just made the lore more confusing. But that's just my stupid take. It's a late reply. Never too late, because this reply is probably even later than this. But wouldn't Camazotz actually be the main reason for the downfall of Skyline's ecosystem? Yeah, Ghidorah did make the storm, so he has a role in Skyline's fall, but Camazotz did intentionally bring the storm to Skyline before, so therefore Camazotz is actually the reason Gia's parents are dead, and that Kong and Godzilla met and fought. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, you're probably right. Godzilla and Friends, they definitely should have called it that. The anime did come out finally. I did watch the anime. Did I watch the final episode? I thought it was pretty bad. Not going to hold back any opinion there. I really didn't like the anime. Every time they went to Kong, I was like, okay, yeah, this is a show now. And every time they went to the annoying characters, I don't know, I guess it's very traditional. I guess in the sense of what, from what I know, a lot of animes are of like just very like a lot of the male characters are just very squeamish and annoying, and I just couldn't deal with it. I was just very bored and annoyed. And like it seemed like I hate this so much about a lot of episodic shows that aren't like season based. They're just like mini series based where they feel like they can just keep blue balling you. Like an episode would end, but it didn't feel like a complete episode. You know, like it was just like we need to segment this somewhere. Let's just do it here and call that an episode. And I'm like, well, you didn't really get to anything. You know, like it felt like the episodes were just ending on really bad spots. And I was like, okay, well, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to get me to watch the next one and binge it so I can finally see King Kong. And I was just like, fuck you. I'm not going to do that. So I did finish it, I think, but I never decided to like sit down and binge it because I wasn't going to give them that that viewership, that uninterrupted viewership. That is right. Yeah, we never saw that trailer. I kind of forget some of the lore, could you call it that? I don't know. Some of the history of like the Comic-Cons and stuff. Because the same Comic-Con that we saw, or was it 2014? 2014 or 2015 Comic-Con, they had a trailer for Godzilla King of the Monsters. And it was kind of like the announcement, or maybe not the announcement, but I think it was the first showing of the fact that they had Mothra and Rodan and Ghidorah. And I guess it was, you know, some very teaser-ish, kind of very cryptic, like, look at the CGI and stuff. And we've never seen that. And I would love to see that. I mean, we got the Skull Island one, so there's always a possibility. The most missed part was Godzilla's design and the story. They focused mainly on the characters of the actors instead of Godzilla, but for being honest, I know you know how to let them do what? How to let them do the $150 million budget, but this movie sounded like it could have been very possible. Hopefully one day it gets made. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, I would have loved to see that version. But I also think the 1983 Steve Miner Godzilla would have been equally as cool. As I've let all of these fester in my head, I think like the Cold War timing of that one and like the story with the KGB and everything, like there was something about that script that I like. There's Sean. Dangerville. Yeah, what's Dangerville doing nowadays? There's not a whole of a hell what? Back that up. There's not a whole hell of a lot going on. He's back. Why did you comment that on a video that's from like 2021 or 2020? And this series was fun. I had a lot of fun putting together these videos for the simple reason that like it's like a style of video that I really like. Like I felt like we were digging deep into some shit, you know, like it felt like we were on, like it was some kind of conspiracy and like we were cracking the code and we were like, you know, digging deep and finding all the answers. And people went on and on and on. And I think I make a part 3? I think I finally did make a part 3 because there was so much crying for a third one. I think I did. Did I? Maybe I live streamed it and I was lazy and I just kept it as a stream. I don't remember. But Yeah, that one, that was fun. Like Sean and I collaborated on that one, on the first two at least. Um, and I had a lot of fun doing it. I think part two went on his channel, and then part three was on my channel. That was fun. I really liked that. Um, and yeah, and like also, the did I call the Eiffel Tower radio tower? It was. I'm guessing it was because it was really shittily animated. That's my only defense. Um, I had a lot of fun doing that. I did have to labor through that King Kong show, admittedly, but I had a lot of fun, and I did that in October, and like that was genuinely a really good period for me because it was like one of the first times that I really felt like, yeah, there's part three. One of the first times I really felt like I was venturing into stuff I wanted to do, but I knew wouldn't get a lot of views. I'm saying that as two people are watching my live stream. Um, like those videos didn't get a whole lot of attention, um, but it was something I wanted to do because nobody else did it. Like even Jack. I don't know if Jack's still watching, probably not, but uh, he was like surprised that I actually went through. He's like, "You actually went through and reviewed the entire King Kong show," and I was like, "You're damn fucking right, I did." Because I don't think at the time I saw anybody who had a comprehensive review of the whole show. And I even did a final episode where I talked about the missing episodes, um, or the lost episodes. I think they were episodes that were broadcast that were not put on the DVD. I think that's the history behind those. But there was a lot of those. Or no, there was a ton that weren't on the DVD, and then there was a ton. Those ones that weren't on the DVD were archived on YouTube, and then beyond that, there were a ton of episodes that were just missing, that we either had images of, or like the titles of, or partially. So I had a lot of fun, like digging through that series, going through the episodes. It got to the point near the end where like I kind of started liking it a little bit. Just from watching it so many times. It's just a relic of time as well, being from the 60s. So I don't know. Again, I don't really watch my old videos, so it might be produced like shit. But I would recommend people check those out, like especially if you don't want to sit through, because I will be honest, it is not worth sitting through the whole show. Like, and I'm not just saying this so you'll go watch my series. Like, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. But if you want to like get an appreciation for the show and maybe see some parts of it, I would check out the series that I did, because I did go through the whole thing. It's not really lost media in the sense of, oh, that one episode is, but it's obscure media for sure. Yeah, the Wolfman. That's a popular video. And my reaction to Son of Godzilla. I do own it now on DVD. I thought it was a Blu-ray when it shipped to me, because the plastic casing is like translucent blue, so it almost looks like Blu-ray, but it's not. So it was kind of scammed me a little bit. Not like when I bought it, I knew it was a DVD, but like when I looked at it, I was like, "Is that a Blu-ray?" Or no, that was a gift, not that one. I was thinking of a different one, but it is blue. Um, that was a good gift from a friend. So I still don't own. What do I not own? Is it just Shin at this point? Yeah, I don't know if I own Mechagodzilla still. I think that might be the only one now that I don't have. It just makes me angry that they cut all this. Man, that's how I felt at the time. I don't really care anymore. But at the time, when I was like really into this shit, I was pretty pissed. I was like, there is so much missed opportunity in this film. But from like the corporate standpoint, made a lot of money. So it accomplished what they wanted it to accomplish. I think it would have been a better film, but Um, Kyle C had no issues with his constantly rude dialogue according to friends on set. No, he did a lot of press for UBK despite being a glorified cameo. Okay. Yeah, I want Guy again as the main bad guy. It ain't gonna happen. Sorry. Um, yeah, there was a whole scene inside the Hollow Earth and stuff that they cut. I remember that. Uh, good lord. A lot of people commented on that one. Give me something else. 2024, that's 2 years. But maybe I said something wrong in the video. For anyone wondering how the CGI might have looked in terms of photorealism, reference something like Dragonheart from 1996. Would have been quite impressive CGI at the time, but likely would have been held up and aged about as well as any mid to late 90s creature CGI. I'm unsure it would have held up as well as CGI of something like Jurassic Park or Lost World. Probably one of the things I'm most proud of on the channel. I do like that documentary. I don't love it. Like, my audio quality was pretty bad. It was the microphone I had before I bought this nice Zoom microphone, so I sound really muffled and just my voice is bad in it, which is annoying because it's like a fucking narration. But I really like that video. Like, I loved putting it all together, and I loved getting the interview. Like, I got to interview Boyd Shermis, who did he was a special effects supervisor on that project, and just overall a great conversation. But the fact that I was able to get so much information from him, out of him from the production was interesting. It genuinely did feel like my biggest accomplishment on this platform. Like, the fact that I was able to get to a point where I could just kind of cold call a Hollywood dude and be like, can you talk about this unmade project that nobody gives a shit about except for like the 6,000 people that are subscribed to my channel? And he was like, sure. So it was a great conversation, just generally about other stuff. Like, I have the full interview, I believe just the entire uncut interview on my channel separately, where we get into his early days and commercial work and his other films. But I was so happy to put him in the documentary because it was like, it gave it something, like it was kind of a centering thing that grounded it. Like, I had an actual guy that worked on it that knew Jan de Bont, has worked with him for years. They were, friendly back in the day. So it was really good to get his perspective. But anyway, tangent. We talked about the budget, and a lot of the information I got from, okay, let's back that up. 95% of the information I got from that documentary came from oh God, what the fuck is the website? Oh, Sci-Fi Japan? Oh God. Oh God. Sorry, I have to look this up now. I want to say it's Sci-Fi Japan. It wasn't Toho Kingdom. I know that for sure. Regardless, I think it's Sci-Fi Japan. They have like a whole series of articles on it. Really awesome read. So yeah, and I think I sourced them in my documentary as being my main source, but I got most of the information from them. And in there, they talk about the budget of the movie and something about the budget being like absurdly big. I think they said 300 million. I don't remember exactly. But the article claimed that at the time it was, I think, the biggest movie budget ever, inflation wise. I think I read that. I think that came from that article. And I say that in the documentary, but when I interviewed Boyd, he had his doubts. or was it 150? Either Boyd said it was 150. I don't remember. Maybe I said it was 150. Who the hell knows? But he had his doubts, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't think we actually had that much money." He said, like, for the whole film, maybe, but for this just the special effects, I don't think so. But regardless of whether or not it was supposed to be the biggest budgeted CGI film ever, it had a pretty big budget, so it could have looked pretty good. I don't know how much. I think Godzilla 98 was like 200, or maybe I'm overshooting that too. No, fuck me, it was 125. So still, it would have had a bigger budget than that. I've not seen Dragonheart. Yeah, well, you know, I hope it would look better than that. I'll say that. Because that looks like a straight up fucking video game. Yeah, that's not that good. But yeah, I feel like overall, I don't remember how long the video got. 47. Wow. I don't remember it being that long. So it's a pretty, fuck you. It's something right at the beginning. It's a pretty comprehensive look. I mean, like I go through the beginning to the end. So check it out if you're at all interested in that production. I think it's probably the most comprehensive thing on YouTube. Again, Sci-Fi Japan had the actual articles, so I would encourage you to read those first. But you know, I'm never going to complain if you want to go on my videos. Although now I don't even get ad revenue anymore, so it's like, who cares? See it anyway. I totally lost my spot, by the way. And Netflix 3D Gamera. Yeah, is that a thing still? Did that come out? I don't remember if that came out or not. The Gamera Netflix thingy. I don't know if there's any more comments I have to sort through, honestly, but I will be recording a video. Yeah, I'll just fucking pull that. I am going to record a video today, probably, if not tomorrow, just explaining my situation, touching base with everyone. I honestly think it'll get more views than a live stream will. So just shilling what I've been doing and also giving an explanation, because I've put it in writing before, but I've never actually come out and made a video being like, hey, this is why I've been gone for 2 years. And I feel like I owe that to people. Because, you know, I mean, I've lost a couple subscribers here and there, but like, you know, there's still 6,000 people, you know, that are subscribed to this channel and probably waiting for stuff or just hoping that stuff would come out. So I feel like I should give an update, and it just feels like I should do it. So I'm going to do that. In the meantime, why is Godzilla green? I've never been able to figure it out. I still think it all is because of the well, no, that's actually a lie. I used to think it was because of King Kong versus Godzilla, the original, because that suit is a very like mossy gray, kind of military green. But I think the King of the Monsters poster, like the original American poster, the more cartoonish ones, I believe he was green. So they made it up. That's the answer. They just made it up. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Whenever the fuck that is. Probably today. Maybe tomorrow. Anyway, goodbye.